Hi, my name is Jamie North with Glitz and Kits, and today I wanted to just talk to you a little bit about how I go about adhering my braids into a glue-in clasp. Now there's all kinds of different ways, different people do different things. I prefer to use Two-Part Epoxy, and today I'm going to be just using this brand. It's a 5-minute brand, but there's all different kinds that you can use. I find Two-Part Epoxy preferable to other adhesives just because they've never failed for me. So what I do is I decide how long I want my braid, and then I don't know if you can see this here, I sew through the braid and wrap around, sew through, wrap around, and then I cut or melt off I just used Fireline in this case. So I've done that on both ends of where I want it. Hopefully you can see that. It's tough with the dark blue braid. The clasp that I'm going to show you today is a new one that I've brought in for a little bit heavier braid. It's magnetic barrel clasp, and it has I think it's an 8mm opening, because this is a fairly large braid. They come in different interior diameters, but this one is a 8mm. So what I do, I use a container, just a little dollar store thing, and a stick to mix it with. I'll put that to the side for the moment. And I use painter's tape. And what I do is I just fold up one end in a little bit like that, so it's like a little tube. Do the same thing on the other end so that you've got a sticky side, so you can place it on a surface, either you know, I've got a tile here, but you could use a desktop or whatever. This doesn't stick to plastic, so the tape won't stick to like parchment paper or plastic. So then what I do is I put the two sides of the clasp that way, and the reason that I do that is that we're going to put epoxy in each end and adhere. My dogs are barking, I apologize. The clasp into the hole, but I don't want it so close together that they're going to clasp. So here we go. Take one side, and you don't need a lot of the epoxy, so I just use one side and I put a, you know, just a blob in there, and that's like way more than I need. Make sure you put the lid back on the tube that you're using, because if you don't and you end up putting the black lid on this one, you could end up getting your lid stuck onto your hardener or your epoxy. Now this one is the resin. And I don't measure this because it's not that big of a deal, but I just squeeze about the same size of a blob. So I've got my resin and my hardener in there. The lids are back on. Then I use just a little stir stick. You could use a toothpick, and you stir it up well. And there's not a lot in there, which is why I use these little cups. You'll see that it starts to go milky, and that's good. And you just mix it until it starts to become clear again. Some people do it on a little sheet of paper, but I find that it just doesn't, it spreads out too much. I want to be able to see the milkiness and go to clear. And I'm out of the screen, sorry about that. Can you see that? I'll see if I can zoom in a little bit so you know what it looks like. Let me just see that. Oh, here we go. Okay, so you can see that it's fairly clear. There's bubbles in it, which is fine. You want to whip it up. Don't just stir it like this. You want to whip it so that it's well mixed. Okay, so then the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to go back out again so that you can see, is I'm going to, you always want to test fit before you drop it in. So I've already done this, so I'm going to cut off my end and test fit it into the hole so I can see that it's going to go in there. I'm going to trim just a tiny bit more off of there. Okay, so then I take my Q-tip and I just want to drop, you don't want to fill it too full. So I'm going to only fill it, you know, maybe 1/3 of the way full. I'm not going to fill it halfway because you have displacement. And if you fill it too full, you're going to end up with glue everywhere. So let's just drop it in there. You can put a little bit on your braid if you so choose. It doesn't need to be a lot. Put it back on your mat or your tape. I'm going to get you in here so you can see. Yeah, so then I'm going to just put my end on there and kind of just give it a little turn. See, if I had too much glue in there, it would be squirting out all over the top. Now the purpose of the tape is so that I can fold it up over top, hold it on there, and let it dry while I do the other end. Now I'm going to do the other end and then we'll come back. Okay, so we're back, and one thing I should have said is when I'm letting it dry, I'll either hang it up somewhere or I will just set it so that it stays this way instead of doing this, because if there's any excess it would run out. It's up to you. Okay, so let's pull this off. I'm trying to look around the camera here. So the painter's tape is great because it doesn't stick to anything. And there we go. We've got our end on. Let's see around here. Yeah, it's pretty good. And then this side that I did the same way as the other side. It's not as good. If you get a little bit sticking out like I do right there, you can just take it off with your nail. I'll just pull it off there. There we go. And we've got our clasp. As I said, there's lots of ways of doing it. That's just how I do it. I hope that using the tape and wrapping it around to hold your ends on is really great an idea when it's, oh, I missed some. It's a really great idea if you're doing bracelets for sure. And you can set it up like this so that the ends are far enough away from each other. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope it's helped you, and happy braiding.